Hi, I'm Reb Myron. I'm a minister through Pathways of Light, and I've been a Course in Miracles student for 40 years. I'm going through the lessons this year, asking Jesus for clarity and then writing from that clarity. And that's what I'm going to share with you today. So let's get started. I'm looking at lesson 185. I want the peace of God. To say these words is nothing, but to mean these words is everything. If you could but mean them for just an instant, there would be no further sorrow possible for you in any form, in any place or time. Heaven would be completely given back to full awareness, memory of God entirely restored, the resurrection of all creation fully recognized. No one can mean these words and not be healed. He cannot play with dreams or think he is himself a dream. He cannot make a hell and think it's real. He wants the peace of God, and it is given him, for that is all he wants, and that is all he will receive. Many have said these words, but few indeed have meant them. You have but to look upon the world you see around you to be sure how very few they are. The world would be completely changed should any two agree these words express the only thing they want. I say that the peace of God is everything I want, but clearly it is not, not yet anyway, because I'm willing that the peace of God be the only thing I want. I am always completely open to guidance. If there are thoughts in my mind that are blocking the awareness of the peace that I am, I want to see them, and so I do. I think of it as the Holy Spirit giving me a little nudge. I'm learning to let go, that is, forgive opinions and judgments. I notice that I still prefer one politician over another, and this seems a hard thing to let go. I ask the Holy Spirit to strengthen my desire for a healed mind, because this is the only way I will have peace of mind. I can have the politician I prefer, or I can have peace of mind. What has occurred so far in this area is that, well, I still vote, but I don't bemoan a loss when it occurs. I don't hate the other guy, and I don't worry about it. However, this is an illusion, and the script is written. To be at all concerned is merely foolish. So when a law is enacted that I see as harmful, I forgive this thought in my mind. I treasure peace more than being right. This is much better than the way I responded before when I had trouble letting go of what I believed. Another way I become aware of what I think I want in the world is to notice those I wish thoughts, or the idea that I could be happy if only something specific would happen. I have no idea what is needed at any specific time, so to wish for something doesn't make sense. I mentioned before about a time I had a pain in my back. I would stand up after sitting at the computer for an hour, and the pain would seem to pulsate in my back. I would stand there waiting for it to subside enough that I could walk. I would wish it would heal up, or I could decide that I wanted the peace of God. Which one? That doesn't mean that I'm asking for the pain to stay. It only means that I don't think the pain leaving is my salvation. My goal is not to be pain-free, it's to have the peace of God. And yet, Jesus says that when I mean these words, I will be healed. My experience has been that when I let go of the belief I need the pain to go, I stop focusing on it. I become aware of it without thinking about it, and either the pain goes or it fades into the background. Either way, I meet my goal of peace. Minds, two minds, this is paragraph 3, two minds with one intent become so strong that what they will becomes the will of God. For minds can only join in truth. In dreams, no two can share the same intent. To each, the hero of the dream is different. The outcome wanted not the same for both. Loser and gainer merely shift about in changing patterns as a ratio of gain to loss and loss to gain takes on a significant aspect or another. another form. No, that when I read that right at the beginning, two minds with one intent become so strong that that their will becomes the will of God. And I was thinking that we always have that, we don't have to have somebody sitting in the room with us doing this, but as course students, thousands and thousands and thousands of people are doing the same lesson every day. So we are joining with someone all the time. Paragraph 4, yet compromise alone a dream can bring. Sometimes it takes a form of union, but only the form. The meaning must escape the dream, for compromising is the goal of dreaming. Minds cannot unite in dreams, they merely bargain. And what bargain can give them the peace of God? Illusions come to take his place, and what he means is lost to sleeping minds intent on compromise, each to his gain and to another's loss. I like that, really like that last sentence here. And what he means is lost to sleeping minds. So we're, if our minds are asleep, if they're working through the ego, intent on compromise, and each trying to gain and at someone else's loss, then we're not going to hear those words. We're not going to hear what God has to say about peace. It says, I am drawn to the idea that minds joined are incredibly powerful and that they can only join in truth. I understand why this is so. Minds are drawn to illusion can never join because their illusions are different. We tend to bargain rather than join, each trying to get their personal needs met at the expense of the other. When I was last married, I saw this in action. My husband liked to socialize. I liked a quiet evening at home. He liked to drink and party. I liked to watch TV with family or play board games with the kids. Only one of us could have our way, so whatever the compromise, someone always lost. 5, to mean you want the peace of God is to renounce all dreams, for no one means these words who wants illusions and who therefore seeks the means which bring illusions. He has looked on them and found them wanting. Now he seeks to go beyond them, recognizing that another dream would offer nothing more than all the others. Dreams are one to him, and he has learned their only difference is one of form, for one will bring the same despair and misery as do the rest. It took a long time for me to renounce all dreams as having no value. I clung to my special relationships, and while I was okay with not being rich and famous, I did want to be comfortable and respected. Always there was compromise, never fully committing to one or the other. I am so done with illusions now. Or am I? I still want a reasonably healthy body and I hate pain. This means that if I'm in pain or I'm sick, I lose a piece of God and have to reassess my goals and recommit. But the work is paying off, and I'm moving quickly to the one goal in every circumstance. Number 6, the mind which means that all it wants is peace must join with other minds, for that is how peace is obtained. And when the wish for peace is genuine, the means for finding it is given in a form each mind seeks for it in honesty can understand. Whatever form the lesson takes is planned for him in such a way that he cannot mistake it if his asking is sincere. But if he asks without sincerity, there is no form which a lesson will meet with acceptance and be truly learned. 7, let us today devote our practicing to recognizing that we really mean the words we say. We want the peace of God. There is no idle wish. These words do not request another dream be given us. They do not ask for compromise, nor try to make another bargain in the hope that there may yet be one that can succeed where all the rest have failed. To mean these words acknowledges illusions are in vain, requesting the eternal in the place of shifting dreams, which seem to change in what they offer, but are one in nothingness. Like everything else he tells us in this book, Jesus reminds us that we must do this in union. He also tells us that when we're ready, the means will be given us. I think this means that we will find ourselves in the classroom that is our final lesson. Jesus asks us to search our minds for the dreams we cherish, and he asks us to be very honest about this because no compromise is possible. Either we choose the peace of God or we choose dreams. There is no middle ground. Every day I revisit this idea. Every day I watch my mind for signs that I have compromised my goal and that I want a different illusion rather than full healing of the mind. I'm not going to ask that I have a dream of money rather than more money rather than less, or better health rather than poor health. They're all dreams, all illusions. I want only the peace of God. Every day I am more certain that this is the only goal I have or want. Today, paragraph 8, today devote your practice periods to careful searching of your mind to find the dreams you cherish still. What do you ask for in your heart? Forget the words you use in making your request. Consider but what you believe will comfort you and bring you happiness. But be you not dismayed by lingering illusions, for their form is not what matters now. Let not some dreams be more acceptable, reserving shame and secrecy for others. They are one. And being one question should be asked of all of them. Is this what I would have in place of heaven and the peace of God? 9. This is the choice you make. Be not deceived that it is otherwise. No compromise is possible in this. You choose God's peace or you have asked for dreams, and dreams will come as you requested them. Yet will God's peace come just as certainly and to remain with you forever. It will not be gone with every twist and turning of the road to reappear unrecognized in forms which shift and change with every step you take. As I was reading these paragraphs, I noticed another compromise. I want my children to outlive me. I want them to be happy. I know from experience that I can be happy even if they're not, but I still want them to be happy. I had suffered so much from my thoughts about this. In the past, any sign they might be unhappy upset me, as if my happiness depended on theirs. I have learned that this is not true, and while the idea still shows up, I don't believe it. Honestly, if I had the power to make them happy, I absolutely would not do that. They did not come here for me to make them happy, and they would gain nothing in my doing so. These stories we think of as our life are valuable only for the lessons they provide. I'm losing the desire to exchange one dream for another for myself or my children. The peace of God is everything I want. All the illusions I looked at were things I didn't want to happen. I didn't want them to happen because I thought I could not be at peace if they happened. Is that true? If I simply ask for peace rather than the absence of these dream stories of loss and pain, could I have the peace that is my true goal? Jesus says yes, and that we cannot fail to find it. He says that my seeking for dream stories or avoiding dream stories is what keeps me from peace. In this seeking, I am deceiving myself. 10. You want the peace of God, and so do all who seem to seek for dreams. For them as well as for yourself, you ask but this when you make this request with deep sincerity. For thus you reach to what they really want, and join your own intent with what they seek above all things, perhaps unknown to them, but sure to you. You have been weak at times, uncertain of your purpose and unsure of what you wanted, where to look for it, and where to turn for help in the attempt. Help has been given you, and would you not avail yourself of it by sharing it? 11. No one who truly seeks a peace of God can fail to find it, for he merely asks that he deceive himself no longer by denying himself what is God's will. Who can remain unsatisfied who asks for what he already has? And who could be unanswered who requests for answers which he is his to give? The peace of God is yours. The truth is that everyone wants a peace of God, even if they're unaware that this is the answer to all their prayers, all their desires. The confusion lies in the belief that one can find it in dreams. We cannot have the dream of separation without the dream of loss and of suffering and death. These painful situations are an inevitable part of separation. You cannot have one without the other. And I only need to join my desire for the peace of God to my brother's desire for it to take on more certainty and more power. I do this with everyone I work with and everyone who asks for prayers. I do it with those I love and those I don't know. Actually, I want everyone. I want for everyone what I want for myself, the peace of God. I recognize that we are never complete until we have all joined. 12. For you was peace created, given you by its creator, and established as its own eternal gift. How can you fail when you but ask for what he wills for you? And how could your request be limited to you alone? No gift of God can be unshared. It is this attribute that sets the gifts of God apart from every dream that ever seemed to take the place of truth. 13. No one can lose and everyone must gain whenever any gift of God has been requested and received by anyone. God gives but to unite. To take away is meaningless to him. And when it is as meaningless to you, you can be sure you share one will with him and he with you. And you will also know you share one will with all your brothers whose intent is yours. 14. It is this one intent we seek today, uniting our desires with the need of every heart, the call of every mind, the hope that lies beyond despair, the love attack would hide, the brotherhood that hate has sought to sever, but which still remains as God created it. With help like this beside us, can we fail today as we request a peace of God be given us? When I accept the peace of God as my one goal, the aim of all my living here, I accept it for everyone. In this, we truly join. Peace is a gift of God, and God gives only to unite, and so it is given to all. I received a message from Spirit a few years ago. It was very helpful to me, so I'm going to share it with you. He said, I don't remember exactly what I was working on, but he said, thank you for your honesty. This is a way you receive all that you asked for. The peace of God is yours already, but you cannot receive it if you cherish other things above it. Spend all of the day fulfilling your desire to release the illusion that you are separate from God and from your brothers by releasing the belief that you need dreams to make you happy. And I said, Holy Spirit, the more I think about it, the more dreams surface in my mind. I could take lifetimes to release each one. And he said, you need not look at each one because at some point you're going to understand they were all the same. You have prepared your mind for this realization, and so you're ready for it. Just continue what you're doing and trust that I know what I'm asking of you. Do not be concerned that the ego still speaks in your mind, and do not feel guilty that you hear its voice. Just notice it and open your mind to the truth. It seems like a hard job because sometimes you still forget that this is all you need to do, and you start trying to stop the thoughts or to change them, this is not for you to do. It is just ego trying to join you in the process. We've talked of this before, but it's helpful to think of it from time to time. When you start to feel stress as you do your mind watching, know this is the reason. It's not the watching that's stressful, but the mistaken idea that you need to do more than be willing to be healed. So thank you so much for joining me here at the little garden in Sedona, where I'm visiting for a few days. And thank you for watching my video. And if you found it helpful, then please like it. And if you haven't subscribed, then please do. And also, I want to thank all of you who have subscribed and those of you who join me every day. I appreciate you. I'll be back tomorrow with another lesson.